Hello world, it is Anime Casual. This is Lucky here. Minus Johnny and Michael will be doing a video. I know we haven't uploaded for a while. RTX just happened, so Johnny and Michael were over there, and I didn't. Hello, and I didn't feel right, just kind of throw on a bunch of videos just by myself. So anyway, today we're going to talk about. We're steering off a little bit of the beaten path that we've already done. So, obviously we've got anime philosophy. We've got some of our anime favorites. You can check those out on our channel. What I want to talk to you about today is how anime helped me with, it wasn't the sole purpose. Of course, there are other factors which, you can get into if you look into it. But it helped me a lot with my depression. And just to kind of go into my background with depression, so I was put under a 5150. If you guys don't know what that is, it's in a nutshell. It basically means that I was either a danger to myself or others. In this case, I was a danger to myself. Having a lot of suicidal thoughts, not really acting on them, but definitely afraid of them, and got to a point where I couldn't really speak. Couldn't really say what I wanted to out loud. I had to text my mother, who was about 5 feet away from me. And tell her that I needed help. I'd never even heard of 5150 back in high school. I'm 25 now, and this was back about, 7 years ago? So I was about 18, 19, something like that. And so anyway, we can go into that another day, but, just kind of fast forwarding it into nowadays. Well, what anime kind of helped me with was to kind of see that, so let's think about this real quick. So anime is made by people, right? So it's made by actual people with actual, actual experience in real life, with actual human problems. And one of the biggest moments that ever happened to me was when I was watching Naruto Shippuden. I ended up watching an episode. I think this was around the 5 Kage Summit, so over in the Land of Iron. And right before, I believe this is right after or right before. I can't quite remember. I think it's right before, when Naruto is trying to plead to the Raikage that, hey, can you not go after Sasuke? And Sasuke had just captured B. And by the way, spoiler alert for any of you that have not watched Shippuden to that point. But he captured B, and Raikage thought that his brother had been taken, and so anyway, Naruto pleads for Sasuke's survival, basically. And even goes so far as to go on his knees and do this stuff. So anyway, there's later on, Gaara kind of tries to set him straight. He's like, you're my friend, but this isn't gonna happen. So anyway, Naruto hyperventilates and actually passes out at one point, and I thought that was a really powerful moment in anime, because you don't really see a lot of people kind of showing that kind of thing. Well, basically, if you want to think about it, in the grand scheme of things, he had a panic attack. He kind of just didn't know what to do, couldn't stop breathing. Couldn't control his breathing. A lot of things happened in that scene, and I've had a lot of the same experiences. So you kind of get this this moment of empathy for the protagonist, who is somebody that everybody looks up to. Naruto's a big hero, and if you haven't watched Boruto yet, there's a spoiler alerts ahead. Obviously, he became the Hokage. He became the Hokage from basically nothing, and you can make the argument that Kurama was there the whole time, but Kurama was not always helpful. So Kurama was sometimes working against him or trying to take over him, and Naruto obviously had to quote unquote tame him, and so anime's helped me a lot in that kind of, it's helped me a lot in escapism, kind of escaping from reality. I work a 9-to-5 job, retail, that kind of thing. But at the same time, it also kind of shows me, wow, other people kind of know this, other, because we get stuck in this bubble where you kind of think nobody else has ever been through this, nobody else has ever done this, I'm just all alone. And it sounds like a real simple thought out loud when you say it out loud, but you start to realize a lot of people think that way. A lot of people think that they're the only ones that go through something or other, and that's what a lot of depression comes from. You know, a lot of people kind of think that they're either alone in whatever they're feeling, or even just to any degree, or they just don't think that anybody else is feeling the way that they do in whatever degree there is. Even if you feel like you have all these problems, well, all of a sudden you start feeling like, oh yeah, but all these people in Africa or all these people somewhere else are having worse problems, or all these people in just the east side of whatever town you're living in. Sorry, most towns in east have an east side, which is usually worse, but especially here in California, you think, oh, those people have it a lot worse. Well, a lot of times you got to really kind of start thinking about your own health, and that's what actually kind of made me start thinking that way was anime. And another instance, actually, I just had caught up to in One Piece to where it is now in Whole Cake Island, I believe. And spoilers for anybody that hasn't watched any of this. So I started, spoiler for anybody that have not watched Marineford. But I had, Johnny and Michael had put me on a path, right? So they had started me at, I believe it was Seibari Archipelago. It was somewhere around there. I believe a little bit before that, when Sanji meets his lookalike, who looks a lot like the picture that was his wanted poster for a long time. Anyway, so they started me there, and I had seen a lot of, if you watch Mojo or something like that, you're gonna get spoiled, and you're gonna know what happens at Marineford at the very end when, spoilers, Ace dies. However, I didn't know how bad Luffy reacted to that. Like, he literally just kind of went limp. So if you want to think about, kind of coming full circle here, what I was talking to you about, the fact that I really couldn't speak to my mom, who was like right next to me, that was exactly what happened with Luffy when Ace passed away. He literally just kind of shut down. He had this open mouth and kind of blank eyes. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe what was happening. And that was a lot like with what happened to me. I just couldn't. I was like, "What's going on?" Like, I can't stop crying. I can't say anything right now. So that definitely gave me something to relate to. So, not that anime has cured my depression or anything like that, but it helps me a lot with relating to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because even then, when you meet other anime fans, you start to hear about their stories, about how they related to that character, and then you guys start to get similarities in between there. And that's really what this channel is all about, is showing a casual relationship with anime. And it doesn't matter if you're an intense anime guy, an anime person, you just kind of delve deep into manga anime and all that kind of stuff, or if you're just casual like we are, where we like anime that we like, But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Once again, guys, we will be releasing a new video. It'll be just covering Yamada's first time, if you have not watched that. Or I believe it's called B.HK, I believe. Anyway, it's a wonderful anime, really, really funny. Actually, one of my top, I'm going to say top 5 English dubbed animes. That's what we watched in English dub. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. It'll be out later this week. Otherwise, I want to leave you guys with this. If you guys are feeling depressed, try and look into the things that interest you and see how they reflect, what you feel. Like, I'm also a musician, so I also connect with religious songs. I find that putting a lot of my prayers into a deity that I believe in, and a lot of my problems into that, usually it makes me feel very empowered. But even if you're not religious, you can do whatever really works for you, and that's really what anime is all about. There's so much anime out there. You're not gonna be a fan of every single anime. Like, these guys have watched, Johnny and Michael have watched Code Geass. I've never watched Code Geass before. I might someday. It looks like an interesting anime, but You know, I got Thriller Bark to go through because in One Piece. But you know, just do whatever works for you, and you know, just remember, guys, keep it casual, and I'll see you in the next video.